Free beer and hot wings in the morning. Grand Rapids rocks all day. 97.9 GRD rocks.
Cloudy today. Some light snow possible in some areas. And a high of 40. About 31 downtown GR. Lots of people still without power. Many said to be possibly without power until Sunday across the state. Because it was bad on the east side and
it was, the whole
and all
state
areas
was a
in
nightmare.
between.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And we actually got off lucky compared to what this storm was. Like, as it moved on, I saw in middle of Pennsylvania, like State College, they're getting 6 to 8 inches of snow today, plus the wind.
Mm-hmm.
How awful.
Tornadoes in other places. I'm looking at the map of power outages from consumers on MLive. It's amazing that we all didn't lose power, frankly, because there are blotches in every part of the city near where all of us live.
Really?
Yeah. We just happen to be just barely outside the blotch.
I have been
in each case.
so lucky since moving here that I mean, the times that I've lost power, I could count on one hand. And normally, like at my house, I didn't even know. You know, I would just wake up and the clock would be blinking or something.
Yeah. Boy, that's best case scenario, right?
Yeah. There was that, when I lived on College and Fulton at that building, that was, what was it? Like 2007, we had crazy rain and flooding. Mm-hmm. That was really bad. That was like days without power.
Yeah.
I gave me a new appreciation for power.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It is remarkable.
Like, I can't even take a shower here because, one, it's pitch black. Two, like electric water heater. So I have cold water.
Yeah, I've always been really fortunate, too. It hasn't been since I was a kid that we lost power for about a week. But since then, like since I've been an adult living on my own, I think like a day maybe.
I can't handle it, man.
When I'm half a day. And it never really, because it was short enough, it never really bothered me until you have kids and then they're bored. But then now we just play flashlights.
Oh, how long does that last?
Oh, well, with kids, believe it or not, they do things for a long time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
boy.
I think at one point that really, I thought maybe
no,
that was true. But iPads, I mean, if you can't have an iPad,
well, they can use those for a while if they're not online.
Right.
They're just using an app. They can use them. But once those go out,
you have to ration it like food during a war.
If you get them interested in something, it's hard to get them uninterested. And a lot of times you'll introduce them to something and then regret it because then you immediately get bored of it. Mm-hmm. But they don't, and they want you to do it with them.
Boy, that's the truth.
Yeah.
This actually happened a number of days ago. This press release came out. But the state of Michigan has offered $1 million to whomever can figure out how to best keep Asian carp out of the Great Lakes. That's what it's come down to, is crowdsourcing ideas. I can't decide if I think this is a great idea to take advantage of the brain power of everyone within the state. You know, there's probably some engineer who's had a good idea that no one would listen to. But at the same time, don't we have employees and people in state agencies that should be good at something
engineers?
like this?
Well, they should. But sometimes really good ideas don't come from those people. It's like they're so in the system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that with manufacturing sometimes, where it's like, the best ideas in the world come from somebody who has nothing to do with what's going on because they just see the world differently. It's kind of like when you hand a kid an electronic device, whether it's an iPad or a phone. Like, we're so predispositioned to knowing how certain things work, we don't try new things.
Right.
They don't know how anything works, and the next thing you know, you're looking at them going, well, how did you just make it do that?
Right.
I didn't even know it did that because
Right.
you never think to look for it.
I also think this is smart on another level because maybe they will get one guy who has the answer and they can just take that instead of, hey, let's hire a firm. Oh, this money is coming from the state?
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. We'll give you half an idea with nothing else for $1 million, and then we will just keep sucking you dry because that's what companies do when the government's involved.
Still a company involved. The state contracted Innocentive, a crowdsourcing firm that awards cash for solving complex engineering, science, business, and government problems. They would administer the challenge, judge and award the prizes or prizes. The prize or prizes.
Wait a second.
Okay.
So the state who can at any point just write this press release, they hired a company to do it?
Yep. and
Yeah,
then
that's
to
what
judge
they.
it.
A crowdsourcing company?
Yeah, that's what
Put
they-
it on
so the-
that's what-
GoFundMe.
that's
The
what they
$1 million
do it a lot.
will go
Yeah.
towards the winning idea or ideas, most of it. Some of it will be used to develop and administer the contest.
We paid them
Okay,
$30
all right.
million. I guarantee it. Guaranteed
they-
that company charged $30 million.
Well, all you have
Go
to
to
do
Kickstarter.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, you just look at studies done locally, like with trolleys or the bike sharing thing we just talked about, where it already failed once, and now they're administering like another study that'll cost $100,000 or
I know.
something. And you go, why don't you just take that money and make bike lanes? Why do you have to study everything?
I don't remember.
The
if-
market will figure itself out, but whatever. I've got a great idea for Asian carp. Here's what you do. You take all the species that you do want, and you make sure that you've got enough of them, and then you just electrify the entire river. You just kill everything that's left in there. And then you just restock it with the stuff that's supposed to be there. Frogs, trout, whatever.
Give you $1 million.
I think
Pretty
so.
sure that'd be environmentally damaging beyond what you're saying.
Why?
What about everything that feeds off the river?
Well,
from
you
the-
re-
the
It
life
takes
that's in
electricity.
yeah,
No
you
big deal.
restock it.
Yeah.
And the
What about the
electricity.
time it takes? You can't just, you're going to keep like 10 billion fish and throw them back in there at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a terrible
Absolutely.
idea.
Yeah.
We can get it done.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a river-wide effort where you just you throw in the nets and then you weed through everybody, and then you electrify it.
Well, it's maybe a
No-
terrible
no
idea,
problem.
but it's still the
No
best one I've
problem.
heard so far.
Yeah, so far whatever they're doing isn't working.
No, because we've
And
been
the
hearing
rest of
about this
the indigenous fish are easy to come by.
we've been hearing about this for 15 years.
Right.
Oh, they're getting closer.
We need a wall.
I
They
think
did
so.
talk about
Yeah,
that.
I think they need to make it bigger,
Yeah.
longer, faster, harder.
Pop evil.
Uncut.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Deal with the devil.
Electrocute them.
97.9 GRD Rocks.